Welcome to Master It Monday. Today's topic is going to be on using Canva to create Instagram stories. Instagram stories is a very powerful way for you to promote your business for very little money with a little investment in time. Now, these stories can be very short, but they can be very powerful. The power comes in with frequency. The more you use stories, the more engaging it can be. The beauty of it is, and I'm going to pop up here my screen real quick, is that with stories, they're showing you're seeing your stories you can put in. Now, this is my profile. My story highlights are showing up right here. But if I'm logging in to my Instagram story and I'm going to, I'm sorry, into my Instagram account, and I can see here, this is a shot I just took. Now, if you look at this, here is my main Instagram feed, and I get there by clicking the home button and going right into my feed. And you can see right up here, these are the Instagram stories that are being highlighted, which is really cool. So let's talk a little bit about why you should use Instagram stories. And if you're here watching us on Master It Monday, where we're here to give you some really simple, easy to follow steps to get the most out of your social media. I'd love for you to give a shout out below. Let us know you're watching, who you are, and always ask any questions that you might have. Now, when you're using an Instagram story, your story appears at the top of your feed. In addition, your followers can kind of get a view of you behind the scenes. You can go live. You can post something that's really short and quick. You can also get people to engage in this because with Instagram stories, and there was a video that I've done before on this, you can put little things like a poll. You could ask a question. You can do some things that actually inspire people to engage in your platform. And again, remember, the more they engage, the more exposure you're going to get. It's all part of the algorithms that you're going to see when you're on social media, right? We need these things. Sometimes we don't know exactly what's going on with those posts, if they're being engaged, if they're not. And that's why you need to look at your analytics and see what's going on. Let's go back to our story topic. So, when you get more people engaged in your story, they're learning about your brand, you're also raising your click through rates. Again, this helps you with your social and gets you more exposure. The more people engage, the more exposure you're going to get. It's the snowballing effect. Now, watch with your stories that you know, keep in mind you can use your phone. You don't need fancy audio equipment, you don't need fancy video equipment. You can use your phone and you can just go live. It's that simple to do. But what we're talking about today is if you're going to be creating your Instagram stories on a tool like Canva, so you can add some other elements to it without using the phone. I'm not a fan of using my phone all the time. I find it frustrating. I like to design on my big computer screen and see how it looks. So let's pop in to Canva and show you a little bit about what Canva has to offer in their free version of Canva. I'm going to talk about the free versions, what you can and you can't do. So if I popped over to Canva and I'm going to look at my main screen here, what you're seeing here is some options up on the top. Now, again, I'm using a free version of Canva. There is a paid version that is a little bit more robust, but the free version can get you started. And if you're just starting with stories, let me know in the chat below if you've used it, if you've never used it, if you love it, if you hate it, any kind of comments like that will help me understand my listeners and what their needs are with as they pertain to Instagram or Facebook stories. So let's look here, right here in Canva. Do you see this as Instagram story and it gives you 1080 by 1920 pixels? That means that PX is pixels. That is going to show you the exact proportions. It's giving you this blank template with exact proportions for your Canva um, story. And what I love about this is that there's some free templates that you can use. You have to watch out. Anything with a crown, if you move your mouse over it, is a pro version, and you've got to spend money on it. But as you can see, as you can scroll down there, there's a lot that are for free. And you can find one that really suits your personality or your style. I'm just going to search for shopping. Maybe I'm doing something about a shop. And here I find this one that I really like, and it actually has more than one, but I'm going to pick on one of them and click on it. And now I have the beginning of a story in a great format that's already set up for me with some little icons and such that I can play with. Now, keep in mind, just because that's the picture that's there, always look at your Canva template selection, not for the color, not for the photo, but the layout. So you may say, you know what, this one was cool, but I really like this one better. I like this. I don't want to have to deal with the little buttons and things like that. But now I want you to watch, even though this was a free template, this that says Canva is a paid photo. You would have to pay for this. Don't just walk away from this, because here's what you can do. You can edit this whole thing. I don't like the background. That's no problem. I'm going to go in here and I'm going to pick a different background. I'm going to pick a teal. Okay. I can't use that photo, right? But let's say I am searching for, oh, let's see. I don't want to use coffee because coffee is so boring. Let's use I am shopping for jewelry. We often have a lot of jewelers here, and these can be your own photos. But let's just say I love this photo of the jewelry that is just, with some rocks, and I think that's beautiful, right? I can pop that right in, but I don't like the way this is looking. It's square. I've got that circle back there, right? It doesn't look good. Well, here's a tip. Right over here in Elements, there is something there. As you scroll through, you're going to see these frames. And frames are ones, I can click right here, and I'm picking a circle, but I have all of these things that I can choose from. So I'm going to center this circle. As you can see, those lines come up so I know. And now when I grab that jewelry photo and I drag it into that little circle, it now looks better. And now I have things that I can put in, and I can put in, Mother's Day sale. And I can have all get mom a gift she'll treasure for a lifetime. And when you do things like this, you're creating your own words, you're creating your own feeling and your own love of the wording, your personality in here. You can even upload your logos and pop them on. So if I wanted to, pop, of course, my logo in this would not make sense, but I can pop my logo right on here. I'm gonna just delete that. But I want to show you this other kind of cool thing. Maybe I don't necessarily like this background now that I'm looking at this photo. If I click on the background and then click on this color here, I can create my own color. Now, if you had the pro version, it would pick up the colors and the hues in the photo and give you options down here, which is a benefit of that. But I can also click on new color and say, I want, you know what? I want more of a blue, and I'm going to kind of fade it out. Well, that kind of looks like purple. You can just scroll and go down and say, oh, I love that. That goes really nice with the photo. And I'm going to make that happen. You could also add a background and pop a background just as simple as that. I just picked one and picked that, and I really love the way that looks. It picks up the color of the stone, it picks up the circle I put in the pink. I've got my wording here. Now, you want to stay consistent with your brand. Keep this in mind. Your brand isn't just your colors. Your brand is also, you want it to identify this as you and your style. It could be as simple as your font. Now here I'm using the font you're seeing here that says League Spartan. But when I click down, there's a ton of other fonts. So if I want to add more jazz to it, I can pick any of these other fonts. I can even type in things like calligraphy or Western or graffiti or handwritten. Remember, with stories, these are small. I always say if you're using a font, make it a little on the bold side so that it stands out a little bit. So I can pick something like this, but look how swirly that is. It gets very confusing, right? I can pick this one, but it's too big, right? Here, just keep playing until you find the right one. But keep in mind, if I pick one that has a crown on it, again, that's the paid version. So find the one that really speaks to you and really speaks to your brand. These arrows here allow you to increase and decrease your size based, and then you'd have to, of course, recenter this because that would look terrible if I didn't do that. But I really like this font, so I'm going to keep this font in the bottom. Now you can also do fun things like maybe you say, oh, I wanted this to be um, all caps. There's this little button here. If I click on the three dots and click the A, it'll make it all caps. Of course, I don't want that because that looks terrible, so I'll do that. But one thing I might want to do is not make this white. Maybe this text, I want to pick up that color that is already in my design. I could pick the pink or you have to click off of it to really see it. But it uh right? Doesn't look good. The blue doesn't look good. Black might be too strong. Gray, maybe. I like that gray because that gray picks up the stone, but it still doesn't pop, right? So check this out, effects. Here's a way that you can really pop your text. If I pick this lift, for example, notice how this kind of pops a little bit more. That's it without it. That's it with it. Now, I can also do something, this is in the effects tab. I can also do something like give it a shadow and pick a shadow color of maybe that pink that I have. And again, it gives it a little bit of a oomph or the white, which is in this text. And you can play with all of these colors to see what works best for you and your graphic. You could also do something like a neon. When you pick some of them, and I'm going to pick on Echo, for example, it gives you the ability to do a color. But when I pick on neon, it doesn't. But they all allow you to pick an intensity of how intense you want it to be. It always pops in the middle of the road. Um, so that'll give you an idea of how you can modify in Canva. Now, here are a few things I want to show you on a story. So when you're looking at your stories, this is my friend Barb. I hope she doesn't mind me using hers as an example. She's got a sale going on. She mixes up some cool little graphics that she got from stories. They're stickers. If you click, you'll see a little sticker icon. It's like a little smiley face with a square. But see, her name here is kind of it's white on white, and that's not going to make her name pop. So in this top portion here and in this bottom portion, you always want to keep that empty. So let's go back to our design. in here, you can see I've left the top portion empty and I've left the bottom portion empty. You want to do that because you don't want this and this, your name up on the top, and this send message that's on the bottom to be blocked. So take a look at this video that I made today. I just went live, and here you can actually see my master at media. You can see here the send message. I added some stickers. I added a tag. I could tag a bunch of people if I felt, oh, you know what, I want to let them know I'm going live. I can tag them. This, which you can't see here, this was blinking, live. So those are ways you can take. Now, this was a live video that I did, and then or a video that I did, and then added all of these elements to it. Here's another thing to keep in mind. Now, this is just something I was doing for fun. Who's your favorite Disney character, right? But remember, this is a sticker. See this little guy over here with the little smiley face? He's the sticker that you can do things like ask a question, which is what this is, do a poll, do something like we had done one where we said, do you like pumpkin pie or apple pie for Thanksgiving, right? Things like that you want to leave space for. So if you're creating the image in Canva like we did here, and maybe we want to ask a question, we need to make sure we're leaving the room for that. You don't want to put the graphic or the question in here, because when you click on the sticker, this little sticker icon, that's going to give you the ability to put this box in with your question. So keep those things in mind when you're designing your graphic. And the other thing you want to do, as I mentioned before, these highlights, you want to add these to your profile so that you can put any of these stories that you want to save in them. And if you want to learn more about highlights, I'll put a little info tag in so that you guys can see, which in the comments below, what you can do in order to add those Instagram stories highlights to your own profile. So, so those are some of the tips that I have on using, designing a static image that you're going to put on. But keep in mind, Canva does have the ability to do visual moving elements. And when you do these elements, you can see here, like this has this little swirly that's going down. You can actually add your own video. So let's just, like, here's another one where I had a static image and I added some engaging um, script that comes scrolling in, some sparkly, blips that kind of draw the eye. But you can go through. Oh, this was the poll. So this was the one I was talking about before, where I said, "What's your favorite?" Is it? I had done this with a paid account. So you're seeing here. See this Canva? That looks really bad. If I don't know if you can see it on the screen, but this is a watermarked photo. If Since I had the paid version when I originally created this with the paid version, that doesn't show up. But this black spot, brown spot down here on the bottom was where I added the poll where I put, what's your favorite, apple or pumpkin? So that's one. Here's another one that it was just a graphic in the back with my logo, but this graphic again is not public domain, and it's not free with Canva. So I can go in here and I can search for something else, maybe, computer purple, and grab something else in and put that. Oh, that's a paid one as well. So here's all the pro version. Oh, it's terrible. It's pro. So it can get so difficult. So what do? I go to Pixabay and I go and I search for something like purple computer and find one that I like and pop it in. You just have to do it in an upload and make that happen. Now, if you're not finding something that you're really loving, just keep searching until you find the thing that you think will work best for you. And add that to your graphic. You can just hit here for download. When you click one and you're sort of like, maybe that'll work, maybe that won't, you can go back. You can find more images. Maybe you want, instead of computer, you're like, this is giving me all illustrations. I don't want illustrations. I want photos. So when I click photos, see now how I'm getting different things? So I love this photo. I'm going to click download. I'm going to pick the size I want. I'm going to download it. I'm not a robot. I don't want to be a robot. Make sure you're leaving any questions, by the way, as I'm going through this whole process. So I've downloaded this image, and that image is going to be stored on my computer. Now, keep in mind, when you have something that's stored on your computer, it's probably, and you're going to, and this downloads, right? It's probably going to pop in to your downloads folder on your computer. So I'm going to go back over to Canva here to this image that I had that I can't use. I'm going to click on upload media from my device. I'm going to pick the graphic from my downloads folder. And once it's in there, now I can drag this over. Now, it doesn't really look all that great. So when you have the image clicked, you crop it and you can move it over. And I can move my text, I can change the color, and play with this as much as I want, size wise, and so on, or get rid of things I don't like. I can also do some cool filters, like turning this gray so that it pops more, you know, and obviously this text with this image is not really going to work all that great, but I can change color um, to white or gray to see how it pops better. And I can size it down. And of course, this is these arrows, these little circles on the bottom, and move them. Sometimes you have to click outside and move them down. And make it work for you and your image. If it doesn't work, try something else. If I've often done something like this and said, "Oh, I don't know if this is exactly what I want." This little button right here is a duplicate page. If I click duplicate page, it makes another copy. Then I can say, "Okay, I'm going to keep this just in case. I'm going to edit this one because I'm not sure if I'm going to like what I come up with afterwards, and I don't want to have to redo all my work." So, keeping those things in mind when you're developing your graphics are important. Now, one other thing I haven't touched on is the fact that you can make I touched on moving images, but I didn't talk about video. So things that you can do with your Instagram story in Canva is to create video. So I could search for. I'm just going to go in here to photos because there is um, I can grab and, this was a photo that we used. I could grab and drop that, right? But look over here where it says video. Now there are some videos that I can pick and use. Now they could be background shots. They could be, you can see here with this building. This is free. So if I click and drag this over, and I click this little play button up here, it's moving graphic. When you add all of your elements, whether you're adding some text, whether you're adding, this obviously does not go well together, but let's just pick a different one because it'll drive me bonkers to have something that doesn't match style wise. You can take this and say, um, change a color, change a font, add some other element to it. When you click download here, you're downloading as an MP4. And this will, you'll be able to then upload that into your Instagram story. It's just a little bit of getting used to. And I know people struggle with doing social media on their phone. I know people struggle with creating content. As you know, you've got a number of different things that you can use on your social media platform that you can take and really promote your business. Don't feel like you always have to use your phone. What you can do is simply you put it in your Google Drive. You could email it to yourself and then take your phone and open up that graphic on your phone. And then it'll be in your download drive on your phone, and then you can upload it to Canva. So, I just want to shout out a couple of people that are watching us today. Um, Karen said, "Same here regarding the big screen." Yeah, I get it. I am not a small screen person. Jill loves stories. Now, Jill, if you check out Jill's social, look up Jill Ortiz on Instagram. She has Jill. Feel free to put your tag below. Um, you can look at her stories. She goes live a lot. She tags people. We were just talking today about how she does a dance party every Monday and tags people. That was that little at sign that I was telling you about. You actually use a sticker in order to do that. Um, so yeah, she needs more eyes on her stories. And what she was asking people to do was we're in a networking group and she's like, hey, share my post, like it, tag yourself, do some like this is engagement using the people who currently love you to continue to engage with your posts is awesome, and Jill does a fantastic job. So I suck at anything beyond the simple post. Karen, I feel you. And it's tough. Like a lot of times um it's a matter of the unknown. And this goes with life in general. So play with it. I create have your personal account, play on your personal account. And when you get comfortable with it, then move to your business account, but start small. You don't have to do these massive amounts of, you don't have to do video and you don't have to do that. You don't have to tag it. Just take one of your posts you see I'm just going to pull up my screen again here. When you see something on your post, like this, it'll be this little like airplane looking thing. I keep calling it an airplane. It's You'll see that on your post. You can actually share a post right to your stories. So make it a little bit easier for yourself by just taking a story, clicking that little paper airplane looking button, and it'll ask you, do you want to share this to your story? And try that and let me know how it goes. I'm always here to help people. So if you need a half an hour of time with me one-on-one, schedule a strategy session at masteritmedia.com. I'm more than happy to help you, Karen. It is awesome. Do you have a workaround to post on IG from your desktop? I know there's some Chrome plugin or extensions. I hate the phone. Actually, I hate the phone. I love my phone for my phone, but I don't like doing my socials because the worst thing that could happen to me is like I make a typo or something like that. So when you're using, I use a system that, Karen, reach out to me because at Master It Media, I have a program that actually helps you post on Facebook, Instagram, Google My Business, LinkedIn, and Twitter, modifying it to fit those needs for you. For stories, it's a little bit different because Instagram does not allow you to use any interface to post from your desktop on, and those tools that you've heard of that do Instagram or Facebook stories are not always the best, and they kind of work around things, and I've heard not so good things about them. I don't want to, I like do your research, make sure they're legit. And if you ever find one that you're not 100% sure on, shoot me off an email at maggie@masteritmedia.com and I'd be happy to research it because there might be things are coming up every day. Policies and rules are changing all the time. Oh, and thank you, Jill. Go watch Jill. See what she does. She goes out there, she's authentic, she's real, she helps people with their health journey, and she's sharing real stuff. Like, there sometimes there's stuff about her kids just makes me laugh. Now, I watch them all the time. Jill is constantly at the top of my feed. Her business is always there because not only is she posting a lot, but what she's also doing is I'm engaging with her posts. So the more I engage with a business, the more their feed is going to show up on top of my feed. So good thing, good tip with that, Jill. And she likes to flip between her computer and her phone with Canva, depending on if I'm home or out. I love that it's web based. And yes, Canva, thank you for bringing that up. Canva does have an app on your phone. So you can actually do it right from your phone if if you're so inclined. Karen, tiny type, don't catch typos, spend too much time correcting them. Yep. Yeah, I know Hootsuite. I heard Hootsuite from a client had told me that Hootsuite now had a free version that was pretty robust, and that now is being very limited. So I know, that is coming up. We use a different tool here at Master at Media that we found to be helpful. You can also check out something like Planoly, but again, none of these do Instagram stories. But yeah, and yay, Jill! I'm so glad you came to stop by today. Love to hear. Yeah, down to two. Thank you for sharing, Karen. So basic Who's Suite now down to 2 social accounts and limited scheduling. That's tough. Like with the tool that I use, I don't limit the amount of socials. So we have a client who has 3 different businesses, and we can post to all 3 different businesses, different content on each one, but we have 15 accounts set up. She's got Pinterest and LinkedIn and Google My Business. So all of these things do end up helping you save time, because when you're trying to schedule something, you can use like Facebook. uh, Business Suite does have the ability for you to go in and go in and post on Facebook and Instagram, but that's it, right? So you can't schedule a story. To my knowledge, you cannot schedule a story. You can schedule posts. If you're running into challenges with any of this, I strongly suggest you reach out to me, Maggie Carey at Master at Media. I'm more than happy to sit down and talk to you. Send in a topic that you think would be a great um, topic for us to discuss here on Master It Mondays. I'm always looking for new content and new things where people are struggling with coming up with social media content. As you know, teleprompter is out there. We're here to give you weekly prompts. It's a very low cost service that we have, and you can find that again. Visit me at masteritmedia.com, and we'll be more than happy to tell you more about. This is a direct to teleprompter, but we can more than happy to help you figure out what you can do with your social media on your platforms. Know that whatever you can do, whatever time you can spend it. Don't knock yourself down on this stuff. It is challenging to keep up with your business and with your social media. And here at Master It Media, we always give you, I think this is my 90th video that I've uploaded to YouTube. These are things where you can sit down and watch and get tips and tricks. Some of them are only 5 minutes long. Some of them are 30 to 40 minutes. We have guest speakers coming up on the 19th. We have someone from Jill Turman, who's from I'm sorry, Jean Turman. I've got Jill on my mind because she's here. Jean Turman from Jean Turman Photography, who did an excellent presentation on how to use your phone to take great pictures. She's going to be coming in and doing a part 2 on the 19th. So don't miss that. We'll also be having people come in that have been in the same place you are, where you're struggling with your social media. So you're not alone. We're here to help. Oh, Jean is a great photographer. Yes, she is, Karen. Jean is fantastic. And she also does these really cool tips to help you get the most out of your own cell phone. So make sure you pop on the 19th and join us every Monday at 2 o'clock on Master It Mondays. We're here on Facebook and we're on YouTube. If you found value in this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you're watching us on YouTube, please like and uh, um, it's it has been a long weekend. Please click the subscribe button and hit that bell so you get notified every time we drop a new video. And as always, we're here at Master It Media to help you take the commotion out of your promotion. Thanks for joining us today, and we'll see you next Monday.